What's up, YouTube? I'm back again, and it's a new week, and we got some new videos. So over the weekend, I seen some new stuff. When I say new, I mean not legitimately, probably not actually new, but new to me. So I'm again only going to go through maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on how quick I go through the first few. The first 2 seem like it's only about 30 seconds long. So today I just want to go over some of these videos. It's not a particular topic. This one, as you can see though, this is a very important topic. And yeah, we're just gonna go on from there. All right, let me go ahead and roll this back a bit.
When we not even fucking when we not even fucking together. When we not even fucking together. When we not even fucking together. For real? Really? 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 About a bitch that I done already fucking beat up?
And that right?
This is from Boss Mac Top Soil. I ain't never heard a name like this before. 3 million. Oh, he got motion. Boss Mac Top Soil. Why the top soil part? I can see the Boss Mac statement, but what made him write top soil? No big deal. That's crazy. This is absolutely. See, now people are gonna say, oh, this is a one-off or a two-off. If they know somebody who's been through this, but what I'm seeing is, so let me put it like this. In society, women are more socially influenced than men on average. Keyword average. On average. If you wanted to understand the culture or environment of a group of people or a society or a nation, look at the women. The women tend to be a reflection of what's allowed, what's not allowed, how most of society feels, how they don't, what's accept. You see what I'm saying? This behavior, there was a time in the black community, you would have rarely saw a woman putting her hands on a man. Did it still happen? Absolutely. But the ratio was flipped, meaning that it was way less often than it is today. Now, as I've gotten older, even when I was younger, it was not uncommon knowledge to hear about domestic abuse on both ends. I wish I pulled it up for this video, but I remember it wasn't that long ago they did a study where they showed how, well, actually I don't know if the study was super recent, but they did show that statistically domestic abuse, violence type cases between men and women are about the same in terms of frequency, at least for reported. So that means that while society wants to grossly make it seem as if men are just dominating that faction or that situation, women are actually not too far behind them when it comes to domestic abuse and domestic violence. And this behavior, her punching him, more on the extreme end, but I've definitely seen women who will slap, hit. I mean, here's another example, right? Because it just like girls want to go too far about nitpicking what they want to claim as hostility towards them, whether it's public or private. I'm gonna go ahead and nitpick this or situations like this. Most guys can attest to being in a relationship with a woman. And let's say, I remember I just saw, it wasn't that long ago, I saw a video where it was a montage of men with their girlfriends at home or whatever, and the dude would crack a joke. Let's say the girl sweeping the floor, and he'll be like, yeah, do that work. And then he'll just walk away. We know it's satire. We know he's just trying to joke around. But then in the background behind him, you see a pack of paper towels flying at his head. I've seen a video where a dude, he jokingly spilled stuff on the floor. I think this was a black couple. He jokingly spilled stuff on the floor while his wife was, or his girlfriend was mopping the floor. And as he walked away just chuckling, she took the mop and slapped it across his face. And I'm just like, for a group of women who by and large claim that they have more emotional maturity than men on average and more emotional self-regulation, that is not a reflection of emotional maturity or self-regulation of your emotions. That's a reflection of lack of impulse control and emotional self-control. You feel some type of way from your boyfriend or partner, in any case, whether it's husband or boyfriend, just joking around with you. So your instinct, your initial idea to respond to him doing something that was non-violent was to be violent and hit him physically. I don't think that's, you couldn't tell me on any planet that is women who have emotional self-regulation or emotional maturity. That's not emotional maturity. So putting your hands on a man, she only feels justified to do this because she has enough confidence that he won't hit back. Maybe that's a principle he always tout in that relationship. But you would never see it get to this with anybody I know or me. The moment I get an inkling that you on that nonsense, you out of here. Especially early on, you out of here. Out of here. If we in a relationship and you do a little tap just because we playing around, just because I joke with you or something, I'ma check you for that. I've been in situations where that's just not okay, where it was serious. And, you know, all that conflating the story and all that other nonsense girls do with stuff like that. No. So he better person than me, but I don't think that this is a good position for him to be in. He needs to walk away. And I don't think he's going to be able to walk away with a lot of peace, because she might weaponize the law against him. That's called blue lashing, something that black women have a history of doing against their own men. Yeah, I really do not like this type of image, but this is not unique to the black community. I've seen and heard plenty of stories where in the white community, this goes on very often on both the men and women side. Men and women side. So, and I've heard this in other communities too. Don't think, this is why I always tell people, don't be pedestalizing other races of men and women, because they be doing this same nonsense. Just because you don't hear about it as often as you hear about it from white and black people's relationships, that don't mean that stuff don't go on. Oh, I promise you, they got their own percentages of people doing this nonsense too.
Okay, I'm driving home from work and I just need to talk because I really have nobody to talk to, and I'm really just not doing well. My whole life, I really just have felt like kind of never really anybody's favorite person, favorite friend, really anything like that. And it's really starting to weigh on me a lot, where I just feel like I am so alone.
They almost look the same. Like the same density of eyebrow hair. I think her nose a little more pointier. But they damn near the same.
And
is
I'm
this
really
her?
Struggling, and I guess I'm just saying this so if you feel this way, just know you're not alone.
Yeah, I think to respond about what she's complaining about, it's humorous. It's quite humorous to me that I still have not found a single video of a man crying about being lonely. So anytime I hear girls tout this male loneliness epidemic, or these unverified claim to have valid factual fact-based research women come online making some blog posting on medium.com talking about some, yep, study finds there's a male loneliness. Just because you find information that there's a percentage of men, or a growing percentage of men who's by themselves on average, it's not reflective of them feeling lonely. Lonely implies that the person has reported feeling lonely, or they are lonely based on how they feel. You could just be by yourself, but that's not a one-to-one to relationship between being by yourself and being lonely. People by themselves at least once or twice in their lives. At some point, you're by yourself, whether you're by yourself taking a shit in the bathroom, or you're by yourself taking a shower. At the end of the day, are you lonely just because you shitting on the toilet for half an hour? I mean, so I don't find that convincing to say that men are just growing and being lonely. Granted, though, what I will say, and this doesn't serve their argument on this, is there men, a grown number of men, who wish they can find a decent woman that they like and they can have a decent relationship? Absolutely. But wanting that is not a reflection of saying I'm also lonely due to not having that. So though, again, those do not go together automatically. But I have seen plenty of women posting videos about being lonely, crying about it, complaining about it, shaming men to get them out of that situation. It's like, I'm just waiting on the moment that girls, by and large, say, okay, let's take some accountability on our shoulders and look at this situation practically and say, okay, we all genuinely know logistically why most men ain't messing with us. God bless the women who don't get the picture yet. But for the ones who logically knew the whole time and they still was playing this game, they know why. They have to become in harmony with their mind and their heart to get to the outcome that they want. And what I mean is that if you were able to snap your fingers and take the emotion out of most women, a large majority of them would agree logistically with men and keep the logic. A large majority of them would agree with men logistically. The problem is that when you put the emotion back, women's emotions tend to override their logistics. So they may logically agree with you, but their emotion will be compelled to blurt out statements that is in disagreement of you. So when I see these podcasts of men logically debating with women, I'm like, this is very futile, because they may actually agree with you logically. It's emotionally that they're countering you and convincing their logic to be in agreements with how they want to feel about the situation. So they have this conflict of interest. It's like a triangle relationship going on. You have one point of the triangle is their emotions, the ways of their heart. The next point is their logic, their mind. And the last one is what actually fucking makes sense. And that usually is coming from the external. But they have two internal battles. They have an internal battle that's going against two factions, their mind and their heart. Usually their feelings tend to overpower how they're going to think and perceive something. So you may be 30% of the way getting them to logistically agree. Their emotions overpower for a split second, and now you back down to 10% progress with them. Because now their feelings have erased some of that progress where they were slowly logistically agreeing with you. And because their feelings tend to be a little stronger about stuff, you basically competing with that. And it's just not, I don't think it's very it's worth anybody's time, in my opinion. I think women have to come to this conclusion on their own through their experiences. So men pulling back by and large, men not going on dates more often by and large, I think that this will over time humble women and to emotionally start to be more in agreement with what men logistically saw this whole time. So that's how I see it. I'm gonna go ahead and play this.
Do you agree or disagree with this clip?
A man having a job is so unattractive. What do you mean you have to go ask another man for a day off? For the women who think like this, watch. Get your ass in the driver's seat. What they say, Jesus take the wheel, go ahead and take the wheel. Put yourself in the shoes of these hardworking men that spend years, decades, trying to provide for you, ungrateful women like you, your kids, and your family. Since you think it's so easy, how about you go spend 12 to 15 hours a day working on a business that probably won't even put money into your pockets until the next 3 to 4 years of trying to run that non-profitable business that's not providing for you and your family, whilst having to work a 9-to-5 job because you need to be able to have some type of income to provide for you and your family, instead of you being such a prissy princess, sleeping on the side of the bed, sound asleep, getting your beauty sleep for the next day. You don't see that the man next to you is stressing, probably crying silently, thinking about how the hell is he going to make it? How is he going to succeed? But unfortunately, y'all not ready for those type of conversations. Even coming from a 19-year-old masculine woman who can see the picture from both sides of the painting.
Well, she has a point. You know, I was just talking about this with some of my immediate family members, and one of my folks, he recently just had his birthday. He's now in his 60s. You would think he ain't in his 60s the way he look and act, all that energy he has. But I remember we was all huddled up, all the guys. Most of them were much older than me, but all the guys, we was just sitting at the table. And I'm more of an old soul, so I fit right in with them. And we was just talking. And one of the topics we fell on, and we've talked, me and the guy whose birthday it was, we fell on this topic multiple times before, but they brought up how there's a lopsidedness, so to speak, when it comes to the sacrifices that men make relative to women over the course of the life of a relationship or marriage. Women, by and large, would arguably disagree, right? Most of them, especially today's sisters, they be like, hell no, that's not true. They're like, I be having these kids and they're risking my life. Hear me out. All those men agree at the table when we talked about how, so this is how we put it, right? When women have children, I was about to say when men have children. We don't have children. When women have children for a man, we all 1,000% agree that women, majority of the time, they risk their lives, if not all the time. There's no guarantee a woman gonna make it to the other side when she pushes out a child. There's a probabilistic chance that she can not make it. We all agree with that. This is where it becomes difficult for the average man to articulate, including myself, what we mean by men do make more sacrifices over time. And that's why we say over time. If a marriage is bound to last from someone's mid-20s with their wife or husband all the way down to their grave, so this is going to be more than 40 years for the average person, about at least more than 30. If she has only 1 or 2 children with him, right? Let's say they have those children early in the marriage or relationship. She's going to be extremely ahead of him in terms of giving in the relationship, sacrifice, right? Now, again, this is arbitrary examples. It's not to be some near perfect shit. Here's the kicker. After she's done having those children, what's going to keep her ahead is the nurturing of those children, right? In terms of sacrifice, because women by and large, especially traditional women, they tend to be crowned on the majority queen when it comes to taking care of children. Guys tend to be a few percentages behind in terms of how much time they spend raising the children. So that's going to keep her ahead. But this is how the man is going to catch up. No pun intended right there. Over time, if this is a traditional relationship, the man providing financially, emotionally, because he got to be the rock for the marriage most times for women anyway, spiritually for our religious people, and then with his life as well. So if somebody busts in that house, his life comes on the line first. Over time, that weight, the gravity of that responsibility, having to be responsible for the rest of your life, taking care of more of about 3 souls, excluding his, he's going to outpace her over time in terms of sacrifices. Again, this is not easy to articulate. It's going to seem like I'm being implicative about saying that women aren't performative in terms of their sacrifice. That's not what the statement is supposed to say. It's supposed to say that the weight of responsibility that falls on the shoulders of traditional relationships with traditional men and traditional women, for men specifically, tends to outweigh the weight of responsibility for women, because at some point during that 30 plus year relationship, the children will eventually become adults and idealistically will be on their own. So what was once a woman's responsibility in terms of nurturing the children that kept her ahead would eventually absolve, because unless they continuously have children throughout the entirety of their marriage or relationship, she's not always going to be nurturing children at the same weight that she did. Nurturing your son when he's 32 is just giving him advice majority of the time for parents. You're not going to be having to worry about changing his diapers, putting food in his mouth 3 times a day, and all this other stuff. It's not the same weight of work. So over time, her responsibilities actually lighten up. The load of her responsibilities tend to ease up further down the road in the long term. The load of responsibilities for men tend to stay the same except for when their children become adults. So before they had children, the weight of his responsibilities was a bit lighter for the man and the woman. Once they have children, his weight of responsibility and hers get heavier. But when the children become adults, that's the only part of the responsibility that goes away. But for some men, some fathers, some level of their weight is not completely gone, because for the man, he may still have to do some level of providership to his children outside of just advice. For women, it would just be probably just guidance majority of the time. And again, is this to say that traditional women ain't doing nothing in those marriages? Absolutely not. It's to say that over time, it's just the way it is. Think about this. For the women who would disagree with me, just take your time, set your heart aside about this, and think about it in a worldly perspective. When you take time and you look at what you and other women tend to tout online that they expect men to do, from relationships, from dating, etc., etc., I'm not too far off with this argument. Even just the expectations that women can have on men, from how they should be towards them emotionally, how they should treat them, bad boy but also responsible energy, all this stuff, right? The weight of responsibility and expectations on men tend to outperform the weight of responsibility and expectations that women have from men. That's just the way it is. Until it flips, that's just the way it's going to be. The only women that I can irrefutably say can outperform a traditional man in a traditional marriage is the single mothers by themselves with no help from the father. Those are the only ones that I can say without a doubt will outperform the man. You want to know why? Because not only did she risk her life having the child, she's raising that child all by herself. That's the only ones who I can arguably say will always outperform majority of the time, or at least be neck and neck with a traditional man in a marriage when it comes to sacrifices and weight of responsibility. So this is to say right there, I added that in to point out this is not about gender discrepancies or who's better, what gender is better than who. It's to simply point out the fact that depending on your circumstances as a man or a woman determines the weight of your responsibilities when it comes to relationships, and it determines how much sacrifice you have to make over time. And that's essentially what this is. If you are a single mother raising a child by yourself since day one or damn near day one, and you had to have that child, yeah, the weight of your responsibility, especially if you ain't taking no child support, because I know single mothers who didn't. Yeah, the weight of your responsibility is honestly a ×2 when you consider the fact that you had the child as well. But in a marriage or a relationship that's bound to last 30 plus years, the weight of responsibility for men outweighs the women over time in that marriage or relationship. That's just the way it is. It's not to say anyone's better than the other. It's just to simply point out a fact. That's just the way it is. So what this sister's talking about, she's just essentially acknowledging that dynamic, that is just how it is. That's just how it is. Most men that I see, when we talk about men who die early in relationships, it's not always about stupidity. It's not about them doing dangerous stuff. As men get older, they even more chill than their younger selves. So meaning they're not gonna be running around here trying to bounce off walls and stuff like they did when they was young. So most times men are just getting older, they chill out. So what's still having them not live a longer life or equivalence to their spouses? Well, it's from the weight of responsibilities, the sacrifices, the stress that comes with that. That stuff don't go away just because he married even if he married a good woman. She may be able to ease some of it. But at the end of the day, taking care of another soul or more for the rest of your life, that type of stress is intense. It's hard to describe, but it's there. That's all I can say about that.
Give me your watch back.
Stop touching me!
Give
Stop
me your
touching
watch
me!
back.
This husband found a watch that didn't belong to him, but instead of confronting his wife, he came up with the perfect way to expose the truth.
Okay.
What? Wait, where did you get this?
I mean, it was on the kitchen table last night.
The way she took the pen out of his hand and threw it on I already knew the type of woman he was with.
It's not. I need you to take it off.
No.
Can you? No.
No.
I need you to.
No, it's mine.
It's not
Don't
yours.
touch me.
It's not yours. Take it off. No. Can you pay attention?
Maybe you shouldn't tell James to leave his shit around. You ever think about that one?
How do you know about James?
How do I know about James?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you pay attention?
Coco, I need you to stop messing me up. Seriously.
You're not even trying to talk to me.
Don't play
Take
dumb
the
with me.
watch off.
This is the second time you
Take
cheated
the
on me.
watch off. Why? Because someone left their watch. It wasn't even James. It was for you. I bought a gift for you.
And you just left it lying around.
Yeah, it was
on the kitchen
surprise.
table.
And you asked, you're such an ungrateful.
And apparently you
little bitch.
forgot.
She is full of sugar honey iced tea. First you say, how do you know about James? Then right after you say you don't know what he's talking about. You just admitted there was a level of, I don't think she realized there's a level of admission when you say, how do you know about James? Some people just don't think stuff through. Then you're gonna claim it's a gift, but in the beginning of this video, you try to forcefully make him take it off. If it was a gift, why are you so angry and compelled to rip the watch off of his arm? He needs to leave. He should have been left, to be frank with you. See, this is how men get hemmed up. This is our mistake that we gotta take on our shoulders. Once a woman shows us this type of nonsense early on, we be seeing the signs. When you see that, leave, bruh. I don't care what race you are, leave. I don't care what culture you from, leave. Because you risking your entire future. I remember, I forgot what video it was. I don't know, I wouldn't put it past me, Charleston White said this before too. But I remember a brother said, most men, I think it was Boosie actually, but I remember they said most men are in jail right now because of a woman, directly or indirectly. Directly or indirectly, most men tend to end up in jail because of a woman. Whether it's he got mad because he found his girl cheating, whether it's because two guys was fighting over a woman, whether it's because a woman that a man was with snitched on him or called the police on him, like black women like to do, just because they having a issue with each other in the marriage or relationship. Like, whatever it is, most times, he said the majority of men that he spoke to when Boosie was in jail, I remember it was Boosie, was due to a woman. So what does that tell you? To me, it tells me he has a good probabilistic chance. I think this is a probability situation that he could end up in jail or damn near dealing with this woman right here. He has a good chance. Because as destructive as she is, putting his hand, and these types of girls, a lot of them, they'll put their hands on men, and if police or authorities get involved, whether it's because she brung him in or he brung him in, she will flip and change every narrative where she was putting her hands on him and claim that it was him putting his hands on her. That's the effed up part. When they finally break up, if they haven't already, her story to her friends and family is going to be, he was putting his hands on me. When in reality, it was her doing it. She's trying to convince herself to feel like she's in a world where that was the truth rather than her being the one who was actually putting her hands on him. It's very disgusting behavior if you ask me. So yeah, this man need to leave if he hasn't left already. This is 3 weeks ago that these unmasked cheaters posted this. Oh, cheating wife. Well, it's even worse. So he probably feels stuck. Cause she would definitely try to gut him in the marriage. Yeah, I feel bad for bro. Rip Bozo. That's something I heard recently. It's not nice to say though, but yeah, I genuinely do feel concerned for his safety and also his future. Cause I mean, take jail out the equation. Let's say she don't even try to go that far with him. His finances going to still get butchered. And if he has a kid with her, God forbid, that's going to be one hell of a ride. I already know it. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not in a situation like this with nobody. I've dealt with women like this. I genuinely feel blessed not to deal with this type of stuff no more. These types of people, man or woman, you don't want to be with these types. I'm telling you, it's not. I don't think people realize how much stress and drama this adds to your life, dating or being in relationships with men or women who behave like this. Is like, if you give yourself enough time to not be around people like this, just be by yourself, I promise you, the next time you encounter this shit with somebody, you're going to be so repulsed, you're not even going to want to look at them no more. That's how it happened to me. I don't think it'll play out like that for everybody, but I know for me, I remember that last toxic relationship, that girl I dumped. I said, you know what? When I move out my mother's house, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to be single. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of trying to find a decent woman and being I'm going to just chill. Stay single for a few years. The next moment I bumped into a toxic, dropped it like a hat. The old me would have still tried to pursue. But damn, I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with. I was so repulsed. I'm like, this is what I was dealing with on a regular. Nah, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. And usually with these girls, I try to just ghost them. Most times I was the type of dude that even if you disrespected me, I would at least text and let you know why I'm not talking to you no more. But these types of women, I didn't even feel comfortable communicating with them because I felt like they just didn't deserve it for the first part. But also the second reason is because I felt concerned for my safety. So I didn't feel confident that they can emotionally handle being directly dumped. So I just didn't. Yep. Hey, look. Hey, man, if you in these situations, get the hell out. Same thing for that dude who was in that relationship with that one woman punching him in the face. Get out of that. It's not it. You be surprised how much better you could find. I'd rather be with a woman who's just annoying than be with a woman who put their hands on me. That if I had to pick, if you just annoying, I'd rather go there, even though I really don't like that either. So, all right, y'all, that was it. Tell me what your thoughts are. See you here.